Gaming Bolt presents 15 weird things about GTA 5 that are true. Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto V is not only the best-selling game of all time, but the best-selling entertainment product across all media. With over 90 million copies sold, the open-world title commands an insane market share. That being said, with the game first launching in September of 2013, there are some pretty weird stories and facts surrounding its history. Let's take a look at 15 of them here. Original Option C. Grand Theft Auto V is famous for its multiple-choice ending where the first two options involve having Trevor or Michael killed. This all boiled down to what Franklin ultimately decided. While the third option was for the trio to fight against all of their enemies, it wasn't always like that. The original idea, at least what was discovered when players looked at the code, was for Franklin to die instead. This would have resulted in him being replaced by Lamar as the third protagonist, and thankfully, that never happened. Different sleep cycles, different player types. You'll probably notice that each protagonist sleeps for a different amount of time. Michael sleeps for 6 hours, Trevor for 12 hours, and Franklin for 8 hours. Their personalities are also influenced by different player archetypes. Michael is easygoing, having effectively gotten his ending. Franklin is the up-and-coming criminal who wants to prove himself. And finally, Trevor craves chaos and havoc. Ogg in underwear. You've probably seen Stephen Ogg, the man who plays Trevor, and fully understood why Trevor is the way he is. However, Ogg would go above and beyond expectations when getting into character. At times, he would record lines in his underwear to get into Trevor's mindset all the more. Well, we'd say it worked fantastically. Ragdoll physics. GTA 5 uses ragdoll physics, which could result into rather funny situations, especially when you're driving at high speeds and crash, which sends the character flying away. However, if you hit anyone that is merely sitting down, they will get instantly killed. Quite funny and weird at the same time. Gaining weight. One of the key plot lines is how Michael DeSanta went from a fairly overambitious bank robber in a small town to a sedentary retired crook in Los Santos. Thus, his motion capture artist, Ned Luke, gained 25 pounds to lend further authenticity to Michael's look and movements. Luke is perhaps the only voice actor in video games to have done this, which is some real dedication. Age differences. Trevor Phillips is 48 years old and has had a rough life, to put it succinctly. Franklin, by comparison, is 30 years old, despite looking somewhat younger in-game. However, in real life, Stephen Ogg, the man behind Trevor's voice, is actually 6 years younger than Sean Fontino, who voices Franklin. It shouldn't be all that surprising, but it's definitely weird all the same. Daz Dillinger's Cease and Desist. Grand Theft Auto, by its nature, is a controversial series. If it wasn't Lindsay Lohan suing Rockstar for using her likeness in GTA 5, then it was rapper Daz Dillinger who filed a cease and desist for samples of his song appearing in-game. Though Dillinger initially wanted all unsold copies of the game recalled and destroyed, he eventually reached a settlement with the studio. Aunt Vivian. Aunt Denise can be fairly hard on Franklin when he's living with her. Heck, she locks him out of their house when he finally gets his own place. However, she's voiced by Janet Hubert, who played the original Aunt Vivian in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if you've ever wondered why Denise sounded so familiar, well, there's your answer. If you didn't, well, go watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air right now. Real gangsters. Some of the gangsters in the game can sound pretty darn close to reality. The reason is that they're voiced by actual gang members. Jeffrey Crawford Laszlo Jones revealed all the way back in 2013 that Rockstar actually hired someone to find real gang members and even got their input on lines that sounded realistic enough to say. El Salvador gang members were among those hired, including one who recently got out of prison. The connection of Franklin and CJ. Carl Johnson, aka CJ from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, is alive. Probably. You'll see a reference to him on Grove Street, though the real CJ seems to be missing. Anyway, GTA 5's Franklin shares a real-life relationship with CJ. Franklin's voice actor Sean Fontino is actually the cousin of young Melee, who voices CJ. Coincidence? Probably not, but it's a cool connection. Pre-release screenshot. Remember the mission in which Trevor had to chase a falling plane on his bike? The scene was quite intense and was easily one of the best moments in the game. However, a pre-release screenshot actually showcases someone else, possibly Franklin due to his body build and the clothes that he's wearing, chasing the plane instead of Trevor. This was obviously changed in the final version for unknown reasons. Fully explorable map and original music. For the first time in the series' history, Grand Theft Auto V has had its entire map open from the start. Yes, a key story mission does cause Michael and Trevor to be exiled, but that's later. For all intents and purposes, Los Santos and Blaine County are fully explorable. Another interesting fact is that this is the first game in the series to use original music, spurred by the success of the original soundtrack for Red Dead Redemption. The American Dream by Scotland. Fun fact about Rockstar North, the studio that primarily developed the game, they're not located in the United States. Rockstar North is actually located in Edinburgh, Scotland. While GTA 5 was developed by Rockstar Studios around the world, including Leeds, London, Toronto, San Diego, and New England, it's pretty crazy how the development team managed to satirize American culture so well. Appearing as themselves. What do the aforementioned Laszlo Jones and legendary singer Phil Collins both have in common? They are the only celebrities in the entire series to appear as themselves in-game. Jones appears as an in-game radio host in Grand Theft Auto V and unfortunate victim of Michael's antics, while Collins is seen in Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories holding a concert in Vice City. A costly endeavor. Factoring game development and marketing costs together, Grand Theft Auto V's budget came to over £170 million or $265 million in 2013. Till date, only 6 Hollywood films have had a higher budget throughout history, without factoring inflation, of course. These are Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, Justice League, and Solo, a Star Wars story. Still, considering the hefty campaign and strong online support, not to mention all of the free updates until now, we would say it's worth it. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.